Good morning. So, in our last concept, we discussed about method overloading. What is method overloading? How we are going to implement all these things already we discussed. Now, let's move little more on that. Okay. So, here I created some methods and I'm going to create two more overloaded versions. Overloaded versions. Here, the first one is going to take 4 parameters int d, and I'm going to add that here d. And the next one I want to give int d comma int e. 5 parameters it is going to take, plus d plus e. All that 5 also I'm giving, right? Now, what is our here? How many overloaded versions are there? Here, the add method can take even 4 parameters also, right? Because I had added two more overloaded versions. Because of that reason, it can take more than 3 parameters. That means it can take 4 parameters and it can take 5 parameters also, right? Now, everything is okay. But see, is these many methods are required means no. All these methods are not required, because see, if you observe the first three, the last three methods, here it is taking 3 parameters, here it is taking 4 parameters, here it is taking 5 parameters. Because this 2, 3, 4 or 3, 4, 5, I am creating 3 methods. I'm creating 3 methods, and not only that, one more method is there which is taking 2 parameters. For that I wrote one more method. I don't want this much of overheadache. Is there any option is there for that? Means yes, there is an option called optional parameters. There is an optional called optional parameters. Let's just a moment. 4 parameters it is taking. Now, if you observe only integer, leave about float. Float we can't do anything here. Leave about this integer only. So this is taking 2 parameters, this is taking 3 parameters, this is taking 4 parameters. And I don't want to write these many methods. I don't want to write these many methods. Is there any alternative approach? Means yes. What is that? Optional parameters. That means 2 parameters are mandatory. And from 2 parameters onwards, I'm giving some initial value to that. That means int c equal to 0, d equal to 0, and e equal to 0 I'm giving. C equal to 0, d equal to 0, and e equal to 0 I'm giving. That means A and B are the mandatory things. Remaining are, if you are passing that, it will take. Now I'm removing all these things. See, I'm removing all these things. Now how many methods I wrote? Only one method. But is there any error it is showing? No. If I'm passing 2 parameters, that values will be assigned to A and B. That values will be assigned to A and B. For C, I'm not passing parameter, right? C value will take it as 0, D value will be 0, E value will be 0. Suppose if you are passing the parameters, then that value will be overlapped this 0. Then you might ask, ma'am, we have to assign 0 only as the initial value. Means no. Whatever value you want, you can assign. But if you are not supplying that particular value, that variable value will be replaced with this given value. Okay, so here in this first line, A equal to 45 and B equal to 567, and C will be 0 and D will be 0 and E will be 0. And same thing here, A equal to 56 and B equal to 67 and C equal to 78 and D will be 0 and E will be 0, because you are not supplying those values. Like that, what and all you are passing, that it will take, remaining will be replaced with this. You can give the initial value 1 or whatever value you want. Here why I gave 0 means any number plus 0 means the value won't change, right? That's why I had given 0. Any questions on this? This is called as optional parameters. Is it clear or any questions? Okay, I'm moving to next. Suppose I'm creating one more methods demo. Class. Method demo. Ma'am, you're muted. Yes, yes. So I created one method, add method. Here to this add method, how many parameters are passing? 5 parameters I'm passing, A and B. So 5 parameters I'm passing, A and B. And C, D, E values, I'm giving some initial values. So whether I want to pass, I will, otherwise I won't. That means what? Now this add method is ready to take 2 parameters and this add method is ready to take 3 parameters, or this add method is ready to take 4 parameters and this add method is ready to take 5 parameters. Maximum how many parameters it will take? Maximum it can take 5 parameters only. So 3, 4, 5. Okay. Now whatever add method I designed, this add method is ready to take these many parameters. Suppose I want one more overloaded. This time I want to pass 6 parameters. Will it take? No, it will throw error. Why? Whatever add method you are seeing here, this add method is not taking 6 parameters. If that add method is not taking 6 parameters, then you tell me how it will take that 6 parameters. It can't take, right? So for that, we are having one more option. For that only, we are having one more option. That is nothing but Params keyword. That means if I want to do this activity, what I can do? I have to add one more variable, int f is equal to 0, and in the formula I have to write this one. But that is not the correct approach. Suppose if suddenly if I want to pass 10 parameters, means you can't go back to program and you can modify that. That means I want a method in such a way that how many numbers I want to pass, that method should take. How many parameters I'm going to pass, all the parameters, it should ready to take that. How that is possible? That is possible with the help of params keyword. That is possible with the help of params keyword. So how params is going to work means, don't give all the parameters list. Simply declare one integer array. Simply declare one integer array. And how to add that integer array values? Int sum equal to 0, and we can write for each, right? For each int number in ARR. From that one by one number I'm going to pick. And even brackets is also not required. Sum is equal to sum plus number, and I'm going to print console.writeLine sum is equal to plus that sum value I'm going to print. This is good. Now my add method is ready to take any number of values. My add method is ready to take any number of values. But what is the problem in that? I have to pass array only. That's why see here all are showing errors. Why? No overloaded method add can take 2 arguments, because there I'm saying that you have to pass array, but here I'm passing normal values. If I pass array, it will take, see, integer array arr is equal to 11, 22, 33. If I'm taking this and add of arr, it will take, and it will take it, it will returns the value. But if it is normal, it's not taking. In that case, you have to make your array variable as params. That's it. See, all your errors are gone. So when you declare your array variable as a params type, whether if you are passing a normal value or if you are passing array, both are ready to take. Again, I'm saying, if you are passing an array or if you are passing normal values, both are ready to take. Okay, what are the advantage of this params means what? This params array is going to take any number of values. There is no limit for that. It's ready to take any number of values. Okay, it's not going to stop that process. So that is the use of params keyword. Now let me run this program. How to execute console demos. Method demo 6. Run. See what is the error. See, all the values result I'm getting. So if I declare my array as a params type, there is no rule that your params array should be integer only. You can give, suppose for float also you want to give like, you want to give like that only. So what we have to give here, not in this program, this one, method 6. Here, if you want to create one more array of float, you can give that also. But what is the advantage of params means it can take any type of list, whether if it is an array list or a normal list, any values it's going to take. And some rules are there. If you are using params as a parameter, some rules are there. So for your method parameters, only one should be params type. Very, very important. That means here you can't give one more params of string array str list. You can't give like that. It will throw error. Means in that parameters list, only one variable should be declared as a params type. Only one variable should be declared as a params type. This is very, very important thing. And even if you are giving another variable, if you are giving another type of data, always params should be the last parameter. Param should be the last parameter. That means what? That means now my params parameter is going to take string also along with this data. String name also it's going to take. But that string name you have to give before, not last. That's what they are saying. That means if you are giving that string array, it should take, we should give before only, not after. We should give before only, not after. That is also very, very important point. If you are giving params, if you are giving other than params, any other type of data, you can give, but that should be the last. So that should be the first and param should be the last. And almost we covered all. Here why it is throwing error means you are expecting, you means this method is expecting a string, but you are not passed that string, right? That's why it is throwing error. How to resolve that? Anyone? How to resolve these errors? How to resolve? Here this add method is expecting a string and an array, but you are not passing that string. That's why it is throwing error. See, you are not passing that string. That's why it is throwing error. So how these errors can be resolved? At least try.
We need to pass those arguments in string type.
String type. Yes, very good. That is one solution. So here I am giving some string. Now this line error is gone because you are passing string, right? Because that error is gone. Any other solution for that? Whatever you said, that is correct. But one more solution is there. Just before you learned that concept. What is that concept? I'm doing some other. Don't think I'm doing that work. What is that concept? That concept is nothing but, even if you want, you can give some value, but actual concept is here you can make this name as a nullable type, because if people are not passing the name, then store a null value, like that I'm saying. But still why it is throwing error? Because that name is the first parameter, right? So here you have to pass, you have to give the parameter name everywhere. Here ARR, you have to give the parameter name. What is that parameter and what are those values? You have to pass that parameter name. That is a mandatory part. So keep remember, if you are passing this data, well and good. If you are not passing this data, make this variable as a nullable type. Make this variable as a nullable type. And when you are passing this parameter, before this parameter, if you are confusing this, I will declare the array name as A. When you are passing this, simply you give that parameter name. Yesterday we discussed named arguments. Have you remembered? Where is this? Named arguments. See, when you are not passing, or when you are changing the order, if you are not supplying all the values, then what I said, along with that parameter, along with the value, specify the variable name also. Same thing here also you can do. ARR colon. Maybe you have to give it in flower brackets. Yes, because more number of variables are there, right? If you are passing RAM, then well and good. If you are not passing, some approach is there, square bracket or some bracket is there. So ARR colon 56. If I pass a single parameter, it will take 56. Now, if I want to pass a set of values, some syntax will be there. New integer array. Why it is throwing error? Set of values can be specified. Maybe why it is. Some indication will be there. You can specify that. Let me check. This ARR colon. Okay, otherwise simple way, instead of doing all these things. But one way is there, like this also you can pass. I will check that something we have to give that. But instead of doing all these things, one easiest way is there. When you are passing, and if you don't want to, even this null value also not required. So suppose here all are showing errors, right? Really, if you are not supplying the value, simply give an empty thing. That is also valid. Or you can give like this, or string dot empty you can give, because I'm not going to pass any data to that, right? String dot empty, anything, double quotes with empty double quotes you can give, or string dot empty you can give, all are valid. So if you are having the data, well and good. If you are not having the data, then string dot empty you can give like this. But this is not the correct approach. One more approach is there. By passing that square bracket and all, using named arguments you can pass. But all are possible. All ways are possible. So if you are supplying the value, well and good. If you are not supplying the value of that name variable, here in this name variable you can store a null value. You can store a null value, and always when you are calling that particular thing, you can use, when you are calling that particular thing, you can use only params part. Okay, any questions? Okay, then
Ma'am, hello.
yes, yes,
Along with string, we can also take float as a parameter.
obviously you can take.
Okay.
Means params float or normal float?
Normal float, ma'am.
Normal float you can take, float f. And if you want to pass some value, you can pass. And if you want to give initial value, you can. But what I'm trying to say is, whatever parameters you are passing, you can pass, but this param should be the last parameter, not first parameter. Okay, that's very important.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Next. Now, till now, whatever concepts we had discussed, all are related to parameters only. How we are going to pass parameters, that topic only. And we are having one more problem, that is called return type. Till now we didn't discuss about return types. And now I'm creating my main program, static void main, and I'm going to start one method, static void test, and this is taking string type of data, string names. And this method can return something, return hello plus name. See, if I'm writing a method, static void hello, static void hello, if it is printing something, console.writeLine, hello world, then my return type I have to give it as void, because that method is not returning anything. Suppose if your method is returning something, then you people have to specify that return type before of this method name. So here my method is returning a string type of data. Because of that, I had given my return type as string. So if your method is not returning anything, then you can call that method directly. If it is taking parameters, you can pass. But if your method is returning something, you have to capture that. How to capture that? Either if you want to use it for printing, then directly you can give return console.writeLine of test of Vamsi. You can give that. No, if you want to store in some variable, string result is equal to test of Sony, and that result I want to print it in somewhere. Now I want to print, you can print it. Console.writeLine result. Either which one is comfortable, you can directly at the time of console.writeLine, when you are writing console.writeLine, at the time you can do that, or you can store the result in another variable called result, and that result value you can print, but both are valid. But if your method is not taking any, if your method is not returning anything, then you no need to put under console.writeLine. Okay, then here some important points. What are they? Leave about hello, because we are discussing this return type. A method can take any number of arguments, but a method can return a single value. Very, very important. I'm not saying in C#. In any language, a method can take any number of arguments, but always a method can return only a single value. Only a method can return only a single value. This sometimes this will be a feature, sometimes this will be a drawback also. So what is the problem? If a method is able to return a single value, what will be what value you are returning? That return type you are going to specify before of this method. That is not a problem, right? Then what will be the issue in this? Now let's see the problem here. Now I am going to create one method, static void int a comma int b, and here swapping logic I'm writing int temp is equal to a is equal to b is equal to temp. I'm doing something. So all this logic is done. I'm removing this main program logic. Now int x is equal to 10 comma y is equal to 20. Some values I give. Console.writeLine a equal to a and b equal to b. All the ab values I'm trying to print. All the xy values I'm going to print y. y. Now I'm calling this swap method. I'm passing this x and y, and this is before swapping. Now I use this syntax. So dollar I will use. No need of double quotes here. After swapping x and y values, I'm going to print. So anyone, any guesses what will be the x and y value? Method demo 7. What will be the values of x and y?
20 and 10.
Before means 10 and 20, right? Before is x equal to 10, y equal to 20. That's for sure, because after this line only you called swap. So before this it's 10 and 20. So you are saying here x value will be 20 and y value will be 10, right? See, even if it is wrong also, if you are going for interviews or anything, even you are saying wrong also, no problem. Or if you are saying correct also, no problem. What you are saying, say confidently. True or false? Others? Why all are silent? Logic is very straightforward. Just A value to B, B value to A, I'm changing. No, it's not clear.
It's clear, ma'am.
20 and 10. Others also agree with that answer. Okay. Let's see the value output, what it is showing. See, before swapping 10 and 20, after swapping 10 and 20. Why? Actually, swapping is happening. If you want, you can go to that syntax here. Here, the values will be temp equal to A. Here, A value will be 10 and B value will be 20. And temp equal to A means A value will be 10. In the temp it will stores. Next, A equal to B. B means what? B equal to 20. That 20 will be stored in that A. And here B is equal to temp. What is the temp value? Temp value is 10, right? That means 10 is going to be. Means after ending this program, what will be the A value? 20. What will be the B value? 10. But why it's not printing there? Actually, see here clearly I wrote, this is the internal process, how it is going on. That means the work is happening. Why it is not printing the 10 and 20 there? Because you are not returning those values. You went to hotel and you ordered one dosa and you paid money also. And they prepared that and they packed everything. But you forgot to bring back to home. Now, once you reach home, you want to eat dosa means will it be there? No. You did everything there, but you are not returning back that values to your main program. How should those values will get back? Right? You are doing something then, ma'am. But here A and B values are changing means when I start methods concept, I said these are called as parameters. See, I think here I told These are called as parameters. The scope of the parameter is within that method only. See, within that method only you can. Outside of the method, you can't use those variables. Outside of the, see, this name is called as a parameter. The scope of this name is within that method only. Nowhere outside you can't use. Nowhere outside you can't use, right? So this parameter scope is also within this method only. Outside you can't use these variable values. Then what you can do means you can return these values. Return A, comma B. But if you want to return a value, A and B are integers, then here we have to give integer. But everything if I gave properly, then why it is throwing error? Because just before I explained, a method can take any number of arguments, but a method can return a single value. A method can return a single value. But here, how many values you are trying to return? 2 values. This is not possible, right? This is the main problem when it is coming to methods. Not only this, let's preparing one more static void cals. It is taking int a, comma int b, 2 parameters it is taking, and it is doing calculation c equal to a plus b and int d equal to a minus b. It is doing that calculation, int e equal to a into b. It is doing that calculation. Now I want to send it back, the result I want to send it back to my main program. But how? You can't return. Why? C, D, E, 3 values are there. You can't return back those values to your main program, right? So what is the solution for all these problems is ref and out keyword. Ref and out keyword. Okay. So for example, if I gave swap of x comma y, and here how the method is going to call means this is called as call by value. That means we are calling a method by passing the value of a variable, right? We are calling a method by passing the value of a variable. So we can call these type of methods as call by value or pass by value. Now what I'm doing is I'm commenting this. Instead of this, I'm writing swap of ref x comma ref y. This is called as call by reference or pass by reference. That means we are calling a method by passing the reference of a variable. Reference of a variable. What is the advantage of this reference of variable? You can't return anyway, leave that. Void you have to give. So ref int a, ref int b. That's it. Now run the program. What are the values you are getting? After swapping the values, 20 and 10 values you are getting. So how this is happening? When you are calling this method, you are passing a reference and b reference. You are passing a reference and b reference. And a reference is going to handle this x address, and b reference is going to handle this y address. So here temp equal to a means what is happening means this x address inside whatever value is there, that value will goes here, and ref y means a equal to b means in this a reference store b reference value. In a reference what is there? X reference. In x reference what is there? 10. That 10 place replace with y reference value. That means this y value will comes to this. Again in this y place, in the temp, whatever value is there, that temp value will be stored. That means here what we are doing, here we are not dealing about the data. We are dealing about the reference of that variables. So this mechanism we have to use when you want to pass, or when you want to change the reference, whatever values you are passing to that method, these values, if I'm having, or if any changes are happening, if I want to get back those values as it is, then I have to use ref keyword. Again, I'm saying whatever values I'm passing to that method, in that method, for those values, if any changes are happening, if I want to get back those values, then ref is going to be used. Then one more, this is one scenario. And if you come back to this calculator, whatever values I'm passing, do I want those values? No, I want some other values. Now, when I'm calling this calculator, Calci, I'm passing
Ma'am, sorry to interrupt. I'm little confused here because even if you call calc and if you put the parenthesis in the main, it is doing the same job. No, why are we using that ref? Because initially you used the swap xy.
Leave this method. Yes, you tell me here.
Like here, you used swap x and y in the parenthesis initially. It still printed 20 and 10.
Why?
Now,
When it printed? No. I will, if you want, I will do one thing. I will create one more method because I don't want to disturb this. So I'm creating one more swap one. This ref I'm removing.
okay.
This ref I'm removing, and then swap one, right? Here I'm calling this swap one method by passing x and y values. So after doing this swap one, I'm printing the values. Now let's run the program. See what are the values it is printing? 10 and 20. When I use ref, then it printed 20 and 10. Now clear? So keep remember, it's not a bigger concept. The problem with this is a method can't return more than one value. Because of that reason, if I pass the values, what is happening here? This x and y values will go there and they will store in this separate variables 10 and 20. So here swapping is happening to these separate variables which is not having any connectivity with your main program variables. So when I'm passing this ref keyword, when I'm passing with this ref keyword, what is happening here is I am passing the reference of x and reference of y to that swap method. I'm passing the reference of x and reference of y to that particular method. So because of that, any changes are happening to these areas that will be reflected to your original program. Clear?
Okay, okay, ma'am. But one question, like instead of doing the swapping over there, in that swap method, if you had just written console.writeLine and something, in that case, will that print the same thing?
Here,
In case of swap one.
yes, obviously it will print. See, if you want, I will print the values here. In method I'm writing, so we can understand that. In swap one method. Okay, in swap one method, a equal to a variable and b equal to b variable. Now run. It will print that swapped values only.
Okay.
But I want a method in such a way, whatever data I'm passing, I want to get back that. In that case, you can't write like that. See? Where in swap method a equal to 20, b equal to 10. But when I come back to my main program, after swapping 10, 20, means in that method work is happening, but it can't able to return it back that to my main program. Then I use ref keyword.
Okay, got it, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay. Others clear, right? So whatever values I'm passing, I don't want that. So here I'm doing some calculation. That calculation response, I want that. In that case, what I have to use means I have to use one more keyword called out keyword. So many people will get confused here only. In which situation we have to use a ref, in which situation we have to use out. Both are used for this purpose only. When you are writing a method and our method have to return more than one variable value, in that case only ref and out are going to be useful. But when ref, whatever values you are passing, if you want to get back those values only, then ref. And whatever values you are passing, I don't want to get back those values. I don't want that values. I want some other values, then out. Out int C, out int D, out int C. I'm going to give here, sorry, out C, D, E. I'm giving here. Here also, out int C, comma, out int D, comma, out int E. Then you don't declare the variables here separately. And I want to print the values here. See, console.writeLine addition equal to plus C. Addition, subtraction, multiplication. Subtraction D, multiplication E. All those things I had given. Addition, subtraction, multiplication. All those things I had given there. Now, what will be the output of that? C, D, E values it's going to print. Right? C, D, E values one after another it's going to print. But if you observe, here these variables are decorated as out. The meaning of that is always these variables will act as a return back variables. That means these are invariables. Invariables are always bring data to that method. Out variables are always take data from that method. Out variables are always take data back to that called area. From where you are calling to that area, it will go. Okay, this is, I will declare x, y. Okay, so these two are invariables which can pass the data to that method. These three are the out variables which will bring back data to this area. Okay, so whatever values you are passing, if you don't want that values, if you want some new values, then out. Whatever values you are passing, that you want, then ref. These are very important understanding. If you both are very easy, but exactly you should know in which situation which we have to use. Clear? Okay. Then actually yesterday also class is not happened, and tomorrow also we are not having session because in your batch some other people are going to join. Maybe from Monday or Wednesday we are going to join. So actually tomorrow session is not there and yesterday session is also not there. That I will cover in next week. Okay, so next week I will take extra time and I will cover that pending thing, because yesterday and tomorrow 2 days session is not happening. Is that I will cover with next week. Okay, but again our next session is on Monday only. Class videos, Naresh team is sharing, right? I think every day they are sharing. Padma or anyone?
Yes, ma'am. There is something called classroom in that they are uploading.
Yes. Once you ask Naresh team, because every day after session only, maybe by afternoon they will upload. Okay. Once you ask, notes and all I will take care, but videos Naresh team have to give. Once you ask, they will provide. Maybe your email ID are missing or somehow. Once you check your email, if it is not, then you ask. Okay. Then,
Ma'am, can I ask one last question?
yes.
It's about the return keyword you used initially in any of the methods, like just in case in the swap method, if you have used return A and B,
Hmm.
and if you're calling that in the main method, will that return, like you said something, a method can return a single value. Does that mean the same thing?
Single value in the sense, here I can give either return A or I can give return B. Only I can return. One variable means this one.
Okay.
But here my requirement is I have to return both values, right?
Yeah.
That is not possible with return keyword. That's why ref and out keywords are came into picture.
Okay. In one line, can we write return A, and in the second line return B?
No. You can't.
Okay.
Return A and return B. When you are giving like this, in the first line only it will end. It won't throw any error, but it won't come to this next line. In this, because see, you ordered some dosa, and after that you ordered, or suppose you ordered some dosa, and that hotel person gave that dosa thing, because what you asked, that you are returning back, you are getting back, then you won't stay there, right? But actually that hotel people are giving some extra, some tea or some other extra add-on pack to that dosa, but you won't wait there, right? Immediately you will return back. Same thing here also. Means here I have to give int. So immediately you will return back. You won't wait till you are returning the next. That's why multiple returns are not allowed.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. So again, our next session is on Monday. Okay. Okay then. Bye all of you. Happy weekend.